G'day everyone and welcome to a new episode. We are doing Battlefield Earth. This is a movie by John Travolta. Well, by John Travolta, starring John Travolta. It's an L1 Hubbard one, Scientology. Let's get that out of the way. Here with me is my co-host Ethan.
Hi.
And yeah, we covered... It's got a, it's quite famous because of the Scientology tie.
Famously bad.
It's famous. This film is famous for multiple reasons.
It's definitely one of the most entertaining bad movies you can find.
I kind of want to, jump in and defend it real hard real quick. I know,
because you've watched this how many times now? Is
I've
this
watched
your
it a
seventh
few.
time you've watched it?
You know what though? I couldn't remember a lot of this shit. I
Because-
couldn't remember.
Because a lot of it repeats itself. How many times did he slow-mo run through things?
Pretty good.
Or slow-mo
uh,
run as things explode around him?
I think we have 4 or 5 scenes where he's slow-mo running as people are trying to shoot him from behind.
Ugh.
Yeah. So it's quite famous, and one of the reasons it's quite famous is the Scientology link, right? Now, I have not read Battlefield Earth, even though this week I was looking at the 2 books to read, and one was Battlefield Earth, and the other one was Dune,
Yeah.
right? And I picked Dune, and you know what? Fucking loving Dune.
No, Dune's
Oh
great,
my god,
yeah.
that is amazing. I only just started reading yesterday. I'm already 20% through. I'm like, this is freaking awesome.
So reading Dune
Mm-hmm.
versus watching Battlefield Earth.
Oh, I'd read Dune every day.
Okay.
I mean, I'm choosing to not watch anything and just read Dune right
Battlefield
now.
Earth, which we're reviewing right now.
So my defense of Battlefield
not
Earth,
the Dune movie, which is also pretty good.
Probably should do.
Yeah.
So this is a quick little one, even though Scientology is quite fun to make fun of.
Yeah, I
okay?
don't think Scientology, I know they
Yes.
helped fund it, but I don't think this is based on their whole religious mythos
No,
thing.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
And to give some credit where credit is due, Alan Hubbard, he pumped out a lot of books. So he was actually quite good at writing a lot of pulp
Oh, it must
fiction.
have been good if people decided to make it a religion.
No, he has one of the most amount of books to his names in history.
Yeah.
So he's quite good at he knows how to write a pulp fiction book. Okay?
Yeah, sure. You admire the man.
Pulp fiction, sorry, not pulp fiction. So to give some credit, and this is where I feel like it's so famous because everyone's like, it's the Scientology, it's the Scientology. Scientology doesn't seem to actually play a huge part into this.
No, not at all.
It's just another sci-fi movie.
It's why there are so many recognizable actors in such a bad movie.
That's true, but to me, it's just another sci-fi movie.
Was
as
Forrest
much as I
Whitaker
love,
part of Scientology as well?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't remember that.
Okay.
You know the famous ones are like Travolta,
Forrest Whitaker.
Tom Cruise. I don't know if Forrest Whitaker is he?
Oh, I thought you said in the movie.
No, and then there's some director who was a famous one, and then there's that current famous one who's in it. Yeah,
Okay,
he's
whatever.
sort of famous. Anyway, my point actually is, even though I love researching and learning about Scientology, there's not a ton that actually connects it to this movie. So whenever
Yeah.
people bring it up, it is quite fun to say that, but then at the same time, it's it's not really. It kind of stops there. So I'm not really sure if there's much more to say about that one.
So you don't feel it has a strong connection to Scientology, even though they're both trash?
Oh,
Is that it?
Well, it's
Or-
just sci-fi. It's let's view there's not much behind it with the Scientology stuff.
Yeah.
You got Travolta though. Travolta was actually meant to film this 10 or 20 years earlier. I think it's 10 years earlier, and he
Okay.
originally was gonna be.
Did they film all the special effects then as well? Is that why it all looks so bad?
No, the special effects are pretty decent.
For 2000?
I think they're decent.
You think the giant platform shoes are decent?
Whoa, that's not special effects.
Oh,
That's the
I'm pretty
design.
sure that is kind of the special effects. The way they made them look big is by putting them
no.
in stilts.
I think the animated effects that they have are actually pretty decent.
The Harrier jets and stuff moving around.
A lot of the space stuff was decent.
There isn't
that's the
much
thing.
space
There's
stuff.
a lot of the things in most films that you're oh, that it feels like
These are the least technically advanced
yeah.
aliens I've ever seen.
I just think with the budget they had, apparently they did a pretty good job.
Okay, I thought they had
Alright.
80 million.
No, I heard that was inflated.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure who to go off with this one. The director says the budget was more around 20 million, a little bit more than that.
all right. Yeah, that's not bad for that price.
Yeah, and they had to film it all in this one. And then when you look at it too, okay, let's get to the cyclones.
The Cyclos.
Okay, what
is
they look
that
like.
a play on psychiatrists? Because I know Scientologists are meant to hate psychiatrists. Are they meant to be space psychiatrists, or is that just a coincidence?
Nah, I think it's just a coincidence.
Okay.
I think it's just a
The
coincidence.
Cyclos have to be the stupidest aliens. Okay, the only thing I can think of in Star Trek, there's a race called the Packleds
Okay.
who literally talk like, "Oh, we make ship go,"
Oof.
like that. And the whole thing is they got into space because they just kept conning people into like giving them shit.
Well, we were talking about
And
this
that was the
though.
closest thing I could think of.
We were talking about this before.
But even they've got some cunning.
What about like E.T.? He's kind of dumb, and everyone's joke about him is he's like the dumb retard that was kicked off the planet as a
I
joke.
always thought that had like a lot of stuff to it. You know, maybe he was.
Maybe. Well,
Maybe that's why he likes the kids so much.
the funny thing is though, when it does get to the Cyclos, there is a good reason to understand that, like, oh, Earth is like not viewed as a very prosperous place to go. So you actually do get like the deadbeats pushed onto the planet.
So the Cyclones come to Earth, and we find out they've invaded Earth and conquered it because they're after gold.
I'm not sure if that's actually why they conquered
Pretty
it.
sure it's
you know, they
gold.
want gold. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably gold.
I'm pretty sure it's gold
What I'm saying is that I think there is good reason to believe that these
because they can't even
Cyclos,
breathe Earth's atmosphere.
yeah,
Yeah,
these Cyclos are the dumb Cyclos. And also the way that you look at the way the Cyclos work, I think there might have been smart ones beforehand, and then they've taken over everything. And now,
kind of like Klingons.
and now people are
like
just lazy.
dumber Klingons.
Like dumber Klingons.
And like Klingons, they've got these weird giant foreheads that actually go all the way back.
yeah, this is what I meant. The prosthetics and everything like that, actually pretty cool. I mean, what it looks like in the end is dumb, but like the job they did was pretty decent. I did find it funny though. Forrest Whitaker and John Travolta in particular, their like face.
You could tell they were them.
Oh,
But with the
yeah.
other aliens that had stuff on
The other
stuck
ones
to
have,
their
like,
faces and stuff.
stuff everywhere, and then like
And then
Travolta comes
the main
out
two,
and he's
yeah.
like pretty clean, nearly all over, and it's like, yeah,
They were also
okay.
like some of the only Cyclos who had lines, basically.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah,
The other Cyclos were just sort of like,
it also
let's
seems
shoot
like
the homies.
it also seems like Travolta is one of the only Cyclos who went to the academy or whatever it is, right? So
Yeah.
I think most of the Cyclos on Earth, at least, are meant to be like the idiots, or
Well,
like
they're also, it's not just
the
that
not
they're,
wanted
it's not just that they're
cast-offs.
dumb. It's that they're like evil dumb. Like they constantly backstabbing and trying to get leverage
And
over each other.
What really makes a character dumb too
Yeah.
is when they have like they have something that would solve all their problems. Like every single problem would be solved if they just did the simplest thing.
For some reason,
That's what makes them dumb.
For some reason, they think the humans, who they refer to as man animals the whole way
Man animals.
through, are stupid, like super stupid. Like they think at some point they're like,
They make the
we,
joke.
we should get humans to mine the ore for us. It's like humans can't do work. That's too stupid. But at the same time, they've been enslaving the humans.
Look,
I don't get why they're
there's a
doing
lot
it.
of problems.
Because they were enslaving humans and just sort of they get them to come in and like raise the roofs.
Well,
Because the Cyclos are tall, but the Cyclos are too stupid to build their own homes. So they're living in human ruins.
yes.
Like literally fallen down buildings
In
the
prison-
Cyclos are living in.
Prison though.
Yeah. So of course, because the Cyclos are all on stilts, they keep banging their heads. So the humans exist. They come in with these spade things and just hack at the roofs till they fall in, and the Cyclos can walk around. It's just so strange.
Let's get to that later. I just wanted to get to a bit of the backstory about it.
Yeah.
So it's like Travolta was actually. So I think the budget was a lot smaller than apparently it's reported on it. If you believe the
I
director,
don't think that's a good enough excuse.
if you believe the director,
this movie.
the budget is far smaller, and apparently they kind of did make their money back or
Sure.
something. Okay, so that's depending on who you believe, right? Then the other thing is because it was meant to be done a lot earlier. Travolta was originally meant to be playing our main hero character.
Okay.
And he wasn't meant to be the bad Cyclo, but because as the years went, he's too old, so he played the bad Cyclo. In a way, that's pretty good that he actually did that.
Because we get
You
the
know.
over the top. What's his name? It's
Damn
not. Is
it.
it Turl or is Turl Forrest Whitaker?
Ah.
It won't matter because you'll just see him and go, "It's John Travolta," and John Travolta's character is this insanely over the top, screaming at the camera character who's constantly going on about leverage and man animals And it's like, I was learning to conquer galaxies before you could spell your name all the time, gesturing to the heavens.
Put it down to that John Travolta is the most entertaining bit in this movie.
Oh, he's fantastic. He's like the number one reason to watch this movie.
Oh, yeah.
If it weren't for him, I'd say probably ignore it.
Oh, yeah. He definitely brings a lot of life to this movie.
Yeah.
So I think let's get to the movie. We start off, and you just start off with finding out some dude's dad has died, and there's a free...
Does it come up with like 3000 AD at the start?
I'm not sure. I know there's no title crawl, because as a mate who was watching it with us actually pointed out, he was like, I kind of like watching a movie without title crawl, which I think fits in this case because the whole first half is about finding out what happened to the humans, right?
Yeah,
It's
as
like
stupid as it is.
It's kind of fun, because we have seen so many bad sci-fis where they start off and there's a title, and we've complained about them where it's like they explained what's happened and now what's going to happen, but this movie just doesn't do a title crawl or anything. So I think it comes in and we're with the Freeman, or am I just doing
So
Dune?
there are
that's
humans who are alive who are free from the cyclones.
I don't know who they are then.
I don't know how many humans there are in the world, but apparently there's some cave people living around somewhere. I think it's like Colorado or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're just living in caves. Yeah.
Okay, so they're living in caves. His dad dies, so he then has to go find the aliens.
I don't know why he decides to leave.
I think the thing is
apart from his tide of living in fear
Yeah.
of because they believe that demons took over the world.
Well,
or
they
something.
think though the aliens are also gods. They're not. There's demons.
I thought they
and
thought
there's
the
gods.
aliens were demons.
No, at points they
but the gods
called,
left.
At points they called them gods.
Okay,
So
whatever.
it's a bit unknown with which ones they're actually referring to.
Yeah, but at this point, humans have devolved into cave animals, basically.
Well, cave dwellers.
Because they're not only they speak normally, but then all of a sudden they'll start crawling around on all fours, going. It's really weird.
That was really strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also point to, and this got me. So it's like they point to like a cave drawing of a demon or whatever, and it's
Which is a giant snake
snake.
creature. Yeah.
The cyclones don't look like giant snakes, but all right, fine. Maybe they haven't seen them. Okay, cool.
I think it's called
moving on.
imagination, Jared, and
Alright.
artistic license.
So he gets out of there by riding his horse, and he meets. Well, first off, he actually goes into a park and gets afraid because he stumbles upon an old mini golf course where there's a dinosaur,
and there's a dinosaur and some other things.
and he's attacking it, and he's like, "Oh, me stupid! Ha 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 ha! You're no demon!" And then like these other random dude. There
Cavemen?
seems to be a lot of cavemen. They bump into a ton of cavemen.
Yeah, it's hard
everywhere.
to tell how many there actually are. Anyway, the other cavemen take him to the city to see the gods, which are just what remains of like the ancient humans, and it's just like
It's a shopping center.
it's a shopping center.
Well,
and
they go
think,
to the city.
They think the mannequins are like people who have been frozen in place.
Yes.
stuff like that.
They think that they were the ones who betrayed the gods or whatever, so they got frozen.
Yeah.
Also,
Depending on where they are and what they need, everything is deteriorated at a very different rate in some places.
Oh, yeah.
Some places are completely fine, where others are like complete ruins.
something else to point out is that for some bizarre reason, the director had like a hard-on for Dutch angles in this film.
Yeah, pretty early
Everything.
on, you start to recognize that something is very wrong, and you're sort of tilting your head to look at the screen, and it's because everything is shot at an angle.
This movie could be a lot better without that because it doesn't really add to
It's
good bad.
disorientating.
It doesn't add to good bad
Yeah.
feeling. It just is like kind of annoying to watch. Like I'm gonna suggest this movie is a good bad movie to watch, but the Dutch angles do annoy you.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's so many of like, and yet like, so I've written so many notes where it's like my head hurts, my neck hurts.
It
I'm
actually
tired
almost
of
makes you
this.
feel sick at some points.
Yeah, and it's
because
just
of how
bizarre
nauseating it
and
is.
disorientating it is. Yeah. So while they're in the shopping center, we get our first running scene with him. So out of nowhere, a cyclone comes up. I don't know why.
I think the cyclones are hunting humans.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
But why? Because they're not using them.
Well, humans are just man animals. They can't do anything, but for some reason the cyclones are constantly trapping them and stuff.
Yeah, so we get this other big scene of them running, and we get this scene multiple times in the movie. He'll just be running and slow-mo, and then he'll get shot. Literally happens, I think, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, anyway, this is the first Blade Runner moment because
Oh
as
my
he's running,
God.
of course, he smashes through multiple panes of glass.
Yeah, as he's shot. That was stupid.
Yeah.
Because Blade Runner is so much better. Don't try and imitate that movie. So then he's in a cage and he's taken away, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, they're taken to the Cyclo place. So the Cyclos have a large sort of domed city because the Cyclos can't breathe out air.
Well, they find so they get given these.
So the
like,
humans, they get
things.
given these nose plugs that they will have to fight
You know
over.
what? That's okay though.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
mind
fine.
that stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they haven't terraformed it. And the first thing he does,
This is when
once
you
they,
realize how dumb the aliens are.
yeah. So the very first thing he does once like they open the door, he gets out and he goes to one of the cyclos. Oh, the cyclos are like 8 foot.
Yeah, they're all like regular sized people, but wearing like giant
Kiss
platform
shoes.
boots.
They're all wearing kiss
Yeah.
shoes, and they're all like 8 foot tall.
See, I think Cyclos are actually regular human height, but they're all like obsessed with it. So that's their fashion, is they wear giant shoes.
Well, they look like cybergoths.
Yeah.
So
It also
yeah.
means that Cyclos can't actually run. Like in the movie, they can't run.
They do
So
put up a kind
they
of good
only
pace.
ever waddle places.
Well, it's because
slowly.
the actors don't want to break their fucking ankles.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
exactly. But it means the Cyclos can never like move anywhere fast. They have to constantly waddle to places.
That's true. They are waddly. Big bumble butts.
Big bumblebutts.
Ed Kempers, they are.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so what happens straight away, he steals one of the Cyclo's guns and then shoots him with it.
Accidentally pulls
Yeah.
the trigger, blows the guy's stomach
Because
out.
the guns are just trigger activate. They're just trigger guns, they're just whatever. You just
Yeah.
pull the trigger and it shoots. And then the other Cyclo's like, oh no. So Travolta comes out and he's like, what? Actually, does he do another run? I think he does another run scene and they shoot him again.
Yeah.
And then Travolta
yeah.
comes out and it's like,
he,
what happened?
Because he runs through the place and he's like disorientated and stuff.
So that's like run scene number 2 straight away.
Thankfully, the aliens, while they do have an alien language, they only speak English.
Yeah.
So it shows the transition between them doing that
Yeah,
occasionally.
that's fine.
But so he grabs the gun and is like, what happened? He's like, oh, a man animal.
There you go. Whenever you do Travolta, what happened? Oh, wait, I can't do it now. Speak his mind. What happened?
Nah,
he's always
it's impossible to copy.
he's
completely.
got- no,
You've
no,
got to watch the
he
film to truly
pushes-
appreciate it.
he pushes up the back of his throat. Oh, yes. And he
Yeah.
like leaves it. It's always longer like that. You leave the mouth. Oh,
But,
man animals.
Of course, he comes out and is like, if a mad animal shot somebody, that's impossible. If you think I'm going to put that on a report, you're insane.
So then he gives our main character. What's our main character? called?
All the Cyclos who have seen it are like, yeah, he shot the guy.
Yeah.
He must have like fumbled with the gun. So he hands him the gun and is like, oh, let him shoot you. So of
Yeah.
course he does.
Yeah.
And
Then he's
because they're evil, stupid, they just laugh about it and walk off.
He's somewhat impressed though by him. He's like, he
I think
must
that's
be a
the
smart
First
animal."
time he's impressed by him.
Yes, yes. So that's when he gets his first impression of him, and yeah, it's just really weird because now we get into some scenes where they're in the prison and they're being fed out like pea protein. It looks like slop.
Oh, well, you've forgotten. We find out that John Travolta, while he thought he was about to be transferred off Earth to like a better post,
Yeah,
is actually going to be forced to stay there by the other Cyclos, possibly because he slept with some important person's daughter.
yeah.
It's
so
not exactly explained.
we also get a lot of
The women in the Cyclo women are strange.
No, they got long tongues. They go like
Yeah,
long snake
literally. There's a scene where I think it's John Travolta was
Yeah.
actual wife
tongues. Oh,
who's playing the alien. Was it? Oh, I've
I
heard
don't
it
know.
somewhere. I can't remember. She's playing the alien secretary. Comes over and it's like, oh yes, she gets drunk with economical speed, and she has other benefits as well. And she sticks out her tongue
Hmm.
and like waves it around. But then later on, he's actually like licking him up and down. It's really gross.
yeah. He
Some
looks
of
his
this stuff.
hands everywhere. He's got big sausagey hands. Like they look like sausages, but they're all flaccid, so they don't quite move
Because
properly.
because they can't turn because they're just long plastic.
That is my
fingers.
best description because what
So
happens
occasionally
is
they'll bump up against things and you can see the rubber move.
because like obviously because they're so long, like our human's
They're
hand,
like
right?
Halloween toys. They're
But-
those sort of things.
But the
yeah.
quality of like them degrades by like how long a normal human's hand is. So it's like the pinky
Hmm.
looks incredibly flaccid and barely moves or like flops around, right? Followed by the next finger, I can't remember what it's called, the ring finger
Whatever.
or whatever, right? Because they're the two shorter ones, and then like the index and the whatever
Yeah,
finger,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Those fingers like sort of move when he wants them to,
While the side ones just hang off the edge.
side ones
Yeah.
literally just hang off the edge and look flaccid. Like they look like giant flaccid donkey dicks. No, they look like flaccid sausages.
There's so much in this movie that is like very memeable moments, like very memorable moments. Like when he's in his meeting and he finds out he's going to be stuck there, and he's like,
with
"But
endless options for
I
video.
thought I was only going to be here for a year." It's like, oh. Yes, but you'll be here for another 50 years.
50 cycles.
Endless options for renewal. And it just keeps repeating the endless options
Yeah,
for
it has
renewal
an
bit
echo.
and stuff.
There's another like
So
3
strange.
scenes where we do that too.
Yeah.
We also get a few like that, but the thing is, these are so cut in and out that we may as well just get through them now. He has a lot of scenes where he's scheming and doing leverage on people.
So the Cyclos are constantly trying to get leverage over each other. And this means
leverage.
recording each other
Leverage.
saying like incriminating things. And in the most ridiculous way ever, like he has to literally say, "Oh, could you repeat the plan to me?" Hits a giant record button, and these cameras pop out of the wall
Oh
to
my
record him.
god, that's so dumb.
And then pop back out, and he's like, "I've just recorded you for leverage."
leverage. He says the word leverage like 50
It's
fucking
not just
times.
him, because the other Cyclos are trying to get leverage over each other as well.
Yeah, but he says it. He
Yeah.
says leverage so many times. So this happens so many times, and I guess it doesn't. I mean, it kind of goes somewhere, but like I just wouldn't be able to place them as we're doing this
you're
review.
just going, how did this alien species conquer anybody? How did they
Yeah.
get off their home planet? They are so stupid. They're so ridiculously evil.
So our main character, though, he's eating some mushy peas. Well, actually, he's gonna eat some mushy
Actually,
peas.
yeah, if I was going for a Star Trek reference, right, they're a cross between Ferengi and Klingons. Yeah?
but stupid.
But stupider.
They're just more like Ferengi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't see much Klingon in
No,
them.
because they're constantly fighting each other and being violent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's not much Klingon though. I'm not sure that's like.
Maybe it's
You
just
know,
more the look they go for.
I sort of get cool.
With the dreads and the big. Okay,
Yeah, I think
we'll
you're
get away
right.
from
I think
Star
you're
Trek and all
right.
that.
It's kind of that's cross. But yeah, we get of course our hero of course is just uber good because straight away some dude comes out and is like, I eat first. He does a fight. He wins. It says everyone fights, and then he starts like,
he's like, yeah, everyone eats equally now,
Oh,
and
sorry,
start like digging the food out of his hand to eat.
yes. I was
It's
just
the
gonna say that.
grossest thing.
How gross is that?
Yeah.
Out of his own hand, they like go over and
Because
they
it's just
grab it.
this sloppy stuff, and he's like, yeah, I'll have some of that. Yeah,
Because we find out I was going to call them Klingons. The Cyclones don't know what humans eat, so I don't know
well,
what
they don't
feed.
know what they want.
What are
They
they
want to
feeding
eat. No,
them?
I assume it's just like protein paste.
It
or
must just be
something.
like, yeah, it's real gross.
Yeah.
But we also, I think, then no, there's a
So-
third runaway scene at this point. What the fuck?
Okay, so what happens to move the plot along?
When does he
right?
run? He runs away
Is
again.
Forrest Whitaker's character. He turns out he found a report on there being a big pile of gold, and he was going to use that after John Travolta got moved off, and he was going to like take credit for it. But they were like, well, it's worthless because it's in a radiation area. So what we find out is radiation makes the
Cyclones
atmosphere the cyclones breathe explode, like literally, and you see it later on a few times.
Yep.
It's just like all of a sudden it just starts to ignite and like pop around and stuff. So they're like, well, we just can't get it because the only way the cyclones know how to get gold is by literally getting a spade and shovel and like digging big holes. Like physically, they don't have machines or anything. They just actually dig the stuff.
Of course, Travolta finds out about the scheme.
Yeah.
Or the thing, and
he's like, well, if only we had a way to go into the radiation zones.
yeah. And that's when he's thinking of the man animals. And at this point, we have another escape scene with our main character. Well, just runaway scene where he runs away.
How many
but then
escape points are
this
there?
is the third one.
Okay.
Okay. He gets caught really quick and they take out his breathing thing and they send him through the cyclone thing and he can't breathe, blah, blah, blah. He
But we
manages...
see, the thing is that annoys me is like, they keep going about how humans don't know anything
And
and
this
they
is when
can't
we-
use them. But we see them
Smelting.
smelting stuff and being used to actually build things because the cyclones can't do anything.
If you're saying to me that you don't believe that you could teach them to dig, but you can make them smelt...
But you've got them going around in work routines. Like, they're not being overseen by anybody. They go out and they just do the work themselves.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, of course, we have our main character run into Travolta, and then Travolta, like, it's after his little... It's during his scheming or after.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, he's a smart one. And then he figures he's smart. So what he's going to do, I think this is the point where the
This is when he wants.
clinical language slave comes into it.
No. So before that, right? He wants to know what they
what they
want to
eat,
eat,
sorry.
so that he can get leverage over him, because the Cyclos
Leverage.
are insane about leverage.
Yeah.
So
They let him free, massive quotations there, that they let him free with
Him and a
his
couple
two
of the other
mates,
guys,
yeah. And they go out and they whatever, and then they find out they have buttons on their shirt. But actually, before that,
they've got little cameras attached to their shirts.
we get told that it's like they haven't eaten for 3 days while they're running away,
Yeah.
and they find like a rat and they eat.
Of course,
grab
they're
the
so
rat.
desperate to eat, they just eat it. And
Yeah.
of course, the aliens are going, see, these man animals don't even cook their food.
And they like rat. Ha! Let them eat rat. So
Raw rat.
dumb.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So of course, inevitably later on, you get him like shoving a rat in his face, going, "Eat, man, animal."
See, this is a movie that did the joke, but they didn't do it as a joke. They said
yeah,
the serious
they
line.
literally, like, early on in the thing, they're like, oh, when he's where they're talking about humans, it's like, oh, see, when we first came to Earth, you see the man animals serving the dogs, which must have been the dominant species on Earth. But that's the joke the whole way through. Is they're
it's-
constantly thinking like
It's not even a joke. This is a movie that said that line seriously.
Yeah.
Like, and it's such an obvious joke that everyone says, but the movie's like, yeah, I don't
It's like
know.
aliens who believe that.
Yeah, the aliens are really stupid. So then they capture them again, and because they were going to jump, well, because our main character was going to, I think, just kill himself by trying to jump a giant gap in the ravine,
Yeah.
they then say, oh, I think that means that they can fly.
Now, maybe humans can fly.
And
so
to-
he throws one of them off.
Well,
and the
no,
guy just dies.
Travolta actually is like, no, they can't fly. Why wouldn't have they flown before? And Whittaker's one's like, maybe they just haven't done it. So they just throw
Maybe they
him
just
off the
didn't
side.
want to.
Yeah, but that's how dumb they are. They're just like, do they fly? It's like, do they fly?
It's ridiculous.
I don't know. From that point though, then he thinks through. So that's the thing too. As the movie goes, you realize how dumb they are,
Yeah.
because this is when they become really, really stupid. Because they have the ability, they have a language. First off, he says he's going to just teach him the language, right? Their
Yeah,
language
yeah.
so he can communicate. So he goes up and we get a Klinko language slave, right? And the Klinko language slave comes up
It's a
and
little
it's a learning
hologram,
machine.
and it's like, so some other alien species they've conquered is constantly like, oh, the great and powerful Cyclos have probably exterminated us by now, but
Mm-hmm.
we will teach you their language so you may serve them better. And it's like, you've got a machine that literally teaches them your language, and you didn't think this would be a good idea.
Just to start, it's the language, right? And so he's like halfway through learning language.
It just shoots energy beams into his
Yeah.
eyes with, like, you could see little bits of writing in it.
Oh yeah, but this is so dumb. He's like halfway through. Travolta comes up, pulls away his head, and then tries to talk. He sort of understands some of the words, and then Travolta's like, "It mustn't be done yet." It's like, it's not done yet. Like, how dumb are you? Don't interrupt it. But anyway, he goes back. He learns the language. Sort of
He's
thing.
in the slave pen, and he's writing like,
Well, no. At that point, he was just doing the language. But then he meets his other friends again for a second. No,
Yeah.
they come over to get him out. And he's like, no. I'm not just learning the language. It's teaching me everything they know.
yeah, just all their knowledge.
All their knowledge of the universe. Like, they're a spacefaring race. And it just can teach you everything. But this
Well,
is
they're
so
not
dumb.
really spacefaring. They've got teleporters.
But this
they
is-
just use big
Yeah, that's
planet
spacefaring. They're going
teleporters.
from different...
Yeah, okay.
But this is so dumb. These cyclones, it doesn't seem like they ever used it. But why wouldn't you use this to learn? Because they constantly are saying that they know nothing about the humans, right? But this machine teaches them like the humans.
I don't think it teaches them about humans.
Well, it just teaches them everything.
Because the main character learns about humans when he gets taken to the library later.
Yeah, but he becomes like smart off this machine. While these cyclones, I don't think they could even count all their like little stubby fingers. That's how dumb they are. It's like, why wouldn't you use this machine on yourself?
I don't
Why
know.
wouldn't you use the machine to learn everything you want about like the universe? They don't seem to use
It's
it.
painful.
They're so
They're
stupid.
so painfully
They're
stupid.
So then we get a scene where it's like math is cool science scene,
Yeah, he's in the big prison pen, and he's just covered the hologram with like
trigonometry, everywhere.
random math symbols.
It's just random triangles and
and
shit.
he's just going, oh, it's math. the universal language, and like, what does
so-
it mean? I don't know yet.
That is the
Oh.
cringiest thing. The whole math is cool thing, and it's like, oh, he's trying to teach them, but then we find out they don't even know how to count to 10.
They can't read. Why would you just be showing them these weird symbols?
If you can't count to 10, don't jump to like advanced trigonometry.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Anyway,
Okay.
it's like when you go into the movie to show how smart they are. There's like a blackboard covered in like math stuff.
Yeah, and
Like
it's just
that.
rubbish.
Yeah, except it's on like a floor written in sand by these cave animals.
Well, then we find out too. I don't know why we find this out here. I think Travolta tells him that's like, oh yeah. By the way, he's also faking that he doesn't know the language at this point to Travolta, because he's hatching a plan. And we get told that all mankind only put up a 9-minute fight.
Oh no, we learn that after he reveals that he can speak their language. So he breaks into the armory with a few of them because he now knows how all their machines work. He gets the guns, and he holds John Travolta and Forrest Whitaker hostage, but of course the guns aren't actually loaded because he could figure out how to make them, but not that they were loaded or not.
I
So,
don't know.
whatever.
It seems like that machine. I don't.
Anyway, John Travolta realizes he can actually talk. So to like scare him or something, he takes him to, I think it's
A library. They take him
I
to
think
a
it's
famous
like
library.
the National Library of Congress or something. And he's just like, oh, I'll leave you here to read as much about your humans as you wish, because like even with all this knowledge, we defeated them in 9 hours with our gas drones.
9 minutes.
I thought it was hours.
Minutes.
Okay, that's even stupid.
Definitely
Whatever.
minutes.
Because we find out later that the human weapons are like actually more effective than the alien weapons. So the gas drones must just be incredibly powerful. So yeah, he just leaves him in this library. And of course, even after the 1,000 of years, with the concrete literally crumbling around it, all the books are readable.
And of course, the book he reads, or what it reads, is the
Well,
declaration.
that's just the first one he picks up.
Well, it's a declaration of independence.
Yeah.
And
And then he moves straight to military bases that are still active.
yeah, it's odd.
So apparently he like absorbs all the human knowledge as well in a couple hours.
Why don't we get this quote here? But Travolta says something, I think, at this point where he says, "I know everything about you," which doesn't make any sense
Because
because
he doesn't. He knows
he
nothing
knows
about it.
nothing about
I think
him.
I'm guessing he was just bluffing.
he knows nothing about them to the point that he said he knows nothing about them.
So Travolta trains the humans to fly the machines and use the digging machines, and the digging machines are literally like spades. Like that's all we see of them.
No. What happens is there's another bit where the Travolta's held hostage again.
Oh yeah. So
That's where he meets.
So to scare the humans, he's going to that they're like five
my
humans.
God, right, this
There's
is funny.
5
Wait.
humans that he's trained to dig the gold. That
Yeah.
he expects to like dig out tons of gold within a week with
Yeah.
shovels.
Yep.
Yeah, he takes them out to a field to scare them. Yeah.
Yes, this is hilarious.
Right.
So what he does, there's all these cows in the field, right? And he just starts shooting the legs off the cows, and it's so funny.
And the human's just like, what the hell is your problem?
But he's so stupid and into shooting the legs of the cows to prove that how good of a shot he is, that literally a whole bunch of just random
cave
people run out and
knock him to the ground instantly,
and
just
hold
like,
him hostage because
Yeah.
then our main character takes the gun off him. And then our main character talks to him in English and is like, oh, actually,
So at this
meet
point,
back, blah,
I
blah,
think
blah.
because he knows all about the cyclones and everything, he's like, we've got to actually destroy their homeworld.
Yeah,
So
and doing this
he's
won't
like,
work.
okay, I'll stay. We're going to pretend we're going to be
Yeah.
loyal servants for a bit.
So this is when they do the trick to them.
It's not too bad, but at the same time, and yeah, whatever.
Anyway, so those guys run off. They tell him meet them later. That's all cool. He's kind of got John Travolta's thing. Anyway, so then,
Oh, they've kidnapped his girlfriend from the caves.
and again, Travolta can't come with them into the area because of the gas
And
stuff that
this is the
explodes.
first time we actually see it as they're flying towards it. Like these
Oh,
little
this looked bad.
explosions start popping off.
They were just
in,
like really bad puffs of explosions.
Oh, it looked so bad.
Anyway, so they leave and our characters go to mine the gold. But in actual fact, they just go, what they're the...
Well, I like how one of the stupid man animals is the first one to point out. It's like, there's no way we can mine the gold and fill like the whole back section of this transporter with gold in a week. That's insane. You'd have to
Yes.
be incredibly stupid to think they could do that. So, but the main character's got a plan, and it's oh, we're just going to go to Fort Knox, fill it with bars of gold. They'll be too stupid to realize that we could not have done this. And they are.
They really
At this
are
point, the
stupid.
humans have realized how stupid the Cyclos are.
Yeah. So, in then 7 days, okay, they meet up with those guys, they find all the weapons they need, they organize all this shit. But in 7 days, then they go to a military base, a military aircraft base, which
Yeah.
apparently has. So, this has been 1,000 years.
This is
hasn't
again,
it?
it's like this is where it's like things have deteriorated at a different pace. Like, yeah, okay, the cities have crumbled to literally nothing, but the military base is so untouched that the cave people can use the flight simulators to learn how to fly the Harrier jets in under a week.
Well, and the Harrier jets work perfectly well.
They're all
Or
fueled
they
and ready
fix
to
them.
go.
Or they fix them.
Or they fix them, which I
So-
would not put past these miracle people.
They go to this flight simulator, and the thing is, this is the level that they're at this point, right?
They're
They don't
literally
have technology
stabbing it with a stick going, ooh,
because it's moving. So they're
Yeah.
going. Ooh. So why is this thing running? How does it have power? But anyway, fine. But they're stabbing it with sticks, going ooh 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 ooh, right? And now think about this: in 7 days, those guys who are stabbing a flight simulator because it moved now can fly Harrier jets like.
super
At
well.
this amazing
At one
point.
point, they'd park it inside of a building to hide to ambush the Cyclos.
Yeah, it's incredible what they can do in
Yeah.
7 days. I like, wow. I want to know what they're eating. I don't
And the
know.
whole time, of course, the Cyclos are backstabbing each other, getting leverage on each other,
constantly.
blackmailing each other, licking each other with their giant long tongues.
And then I think they just
It
meet
goes pretty
Travolta
quick.
with the gold.
So the human
no,
guy
it doesn't
realizes
go quick because the battles last fucking forever.
the human guy realizes that to defeat the Cyclos, what they've got to do is get one of a radiation bomb, he calls it, to the teleporter and send it to the home planet. Because the minute the bomb goes off, it'll just wipe them all out.
Don't forget also, this is when we get introduced to one of their favorite sayings, the
Piece of
humans.
cake.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Which makes no sense because they don't know what cake is.
They don't know what cake is, but they'll repeat it
They'll say-
constantly.
And we brought this up. It's a colloquial saying sort of thing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I don't know.
It's not. It doesn't expand past the area of where people eat cake. If you don't eat cake, right? If you don't have cake where you live and don't know what cake is, piece of cake makes no sense. They don't even know what a piece is. They don't know how to count.
There's so much stupid in this film. The
of cake.
Cyclos turn up to pick up the gold, and they're like, "Oh,
You made them into
John
bars.
Travolta is like, so not only did you have enough time to dig out the ore, but you had time to smelt it into ingots and mark it with some sort of foreign language. Obviously, I've been too lenient on you."
So
He's
dumb.
still, I just don't get it. They're just so stupid.
Anyway, I don't remember how we start the fight.
Let's just skip over most of the fight, honestly. It's
Alright.
just boring. The
So-
Cyclos,
The fight scene
the
sucks.
humans will be riding and they're running around smashing up the city.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cyclos, it just cutting the Cyclos just sitting around going,
We get like 3 or 4 back and forth scenes where it's like humans winning, cyclones winning, humans win, and it's just annoying. It's
Yeah.
just annoying. So basically, the dudes with the Harrier jets come in
and
somehow.
just blow the shit out of all of the Cyclo alien things.
One of the dudes. Okay, so also the Cyclo area, it's inside a dome.
Yeah,
That's
like,
how they
we've gone over
keep.
that because they can't breathe human air.
It's inside. Yeah. So only one of them then has all the bombs for it, sort of thing, and like the bombs didn't actually blow it up properly.
Yeah, so they want to crack the dome open.
So he hits himself into it and then shoots it and blows it up,
Okay,
cracking
so
the dome
this-
open.
just-
There's also,
So the
but
humans
just
are stupid as well.
just
So
keep in mind, though-
the human whose job it was to crack open the dome with the explosives, he's landed there, put the explosives on it, and you're like, okay, so he's filled it with explosives, yeah? No, because when he comes back, he slams his ship through it and then blows his ship up, but his ship is still filled to the brim with explosives. So what was he?
But also, he's flying an alien ship that
Yeah.
can just shoot lasers. So why doesn't he just shoot it?
I think when we see the alien lasers actually hit the dome, it doesn't do anything.
Ah, okay. Well, look, it's dumb, and this battle, the battle scene of them just shooting and running, like we have another running scene
There's
with
so
our main
much
character.
slow motion running, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
we get
It
another-
stretches the movie out by at least 15 minutes.
I think so. We have a 15-minute battle, which kind of sucks. It's not great. Could have been
Because the
condensed.
cyclos, again, can only waddle. So they're
Yeah.
constantly waddling and sort of shooting with their guns
I
they
think
can't see through.
the battles in this movie is what let it down. Wait, sorry.
That's what let it down?
It's not entertaining. I mean, the
Oh,
battles
yeah, okay.
aren't very,
That's when it starts to get boring, is when they're actually fighting and stuff.
So
because
in
it
this
goes on too long.
15-minute thing, we were all like, "Oh, this is so boring. Hurry up!" So luckily, though, they eventually do get through. What do? They transport one of the guys kamikazes himself again by like going with the bomb
Transport
to the.
himself to the Cyclo planet and blows it up. So
Yeah.
all of Cyclo is destroyed. John Travolta gets his arm blown off. Forrest Whitaker switches sides because, again, the Cyclos are stupid evil. So he's happy to work for the humans now as long as he is first of the Cyclos.
Yeah, because the thing is that they know that there are cyclones in other places,
Yeah.
so that they're like, "Oh,
Because
we
now
can't."
the humans have leverage over John Travolta, which
no.
I don't know why they want.
They got leverage over
him.
Whitaker, don't they?
No. They've got. They have a recording of John Travolta talking about his plan, so
Wouldn't
it's all
it-
his fault.
Wouldn't they be more concerned with just killing the humans after they blew up their home world?
No. Because you see, now
all
the
leverage.
humans have leverage.
I don't know. They're just worried that they're gonna come, so that's why they.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is that no.
It
I
ends
think
up with John Travolta imprisoned in Fort Knox with all the gold he could possibly want.
I think the thing is that Whitaker is meant to be like telling the other Cyclos that Earth is all fine, still under control. That's why they keep Whitaker. He's meant to just relay like fake messages, like like
Well, how would the other Cyclos even know it was Earth?
they transported there. Probably all the distress
But
messages.
for all we know, all the other like planets are just like shitty little outposts.
Yeah,
like them.
probably.
I
But
don't know.
I think that's what Whitaker's there because they're like, yeah, we keep Whitaker happy, and Whitaker's like, yeah, I'm super happy with this because then
I
he
am
can tell
first
the
of
others.
the Cyclos.
Like that's fine. That worked out fine for me. It's like okay, that way they don't know Earth did it because he's like, no, Earth's fine. It's all under control here.
Yes, but even then, you're like they never go over that.
Yeah, they do.
like,
That's why
sort
they
of
kept him.
implied.
That's why they kept him.
No, they kept John Travolta in case they find out.
No,
it's
they
them.
kept. No, I don't know what that was for. They just. kept-
They say it's like we've got leverage over you. If they other cyclists find out
oh,
about
because
us,
they could blame it
we
on
can
Travolta.
blame it on you. But
Yeah.
I'm like, but they're still going to wipe you out.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
whatever.
I know. I just thought that was dumb anyway. So of course they encase him in like the room with all the gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the end of the movie. That's the end of the movie. It's funny how like there's so many great scenes in this movie. It's just the battle in the last 15 minutes kind of sucks.
Yeah. Well, it goes on for like half an hour at least.
Yeah, the battle sucks, and there are too many Dutch angles. Like, good God, give us like a flat
I
shot.
enjoyed the Dutch angles.
Otherwise,
Fun.
it's a really entertaining, dumb sci-fi.
It is a good bad movie.
It's a good it's a good dumb sci-fi. It's fun to watch. You could also
I don't know if I'd watch it more than once.
totally do
honestly.
bingo cards for it. If you're someone who likes to drink or just
every
do
time
bingo,
someone says leverage or piece of cake, and
Yeah,
you'll be dead by the end of the film.
or man animals.
Man
Ooh,
animals
that's good actually. There's three easy ones: man animals, piece of cake,
and leverage.
or maybe how when they go ooh 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 ooh. I mean, you're gonna be drinking a lot. I think just leverage alone. That's freaking. How many do you need on a card? Like 9. You need.
I don't know.
Oh, I think.
Oh, yeah, are you
4.
talking about a bingo card?
Yeah, was
don't
it
know.
like 4 across?
Whatever.
8. Yeah, 16.
But yeah, you'd recommend this movie.
I would definitely recommend Battlefield Earth. I think it's really entertaining.
True.
Yeah, there is the shitty bit at the end, which is kind of boring. Honestly, it's one of those things where I'm like, fuck it, fast forward, who cares? It's not. It's just they always do that, and they never get action. I don't think we give good action movies enough credit for what they are.
True.
Like this is
Is this because you've just watched Hobbs and Shaw?
No,
You didn't like
it's
that?
it's almost because I never really thought about it until like now, sort of thing. There are some really great action films. So we always consider like action films dumb or like just kind of fun thing, but there are very few actually entertaining action films that do it right. There are a lot of shit action films, and you get bored watching it, right?
Well, it's
That's the
not
problem with
Exactly,
action.
it's the big battle scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's like
No,
it's
that's what
just
I'm saying.
people running around in slow motion.
But that's an
gunning each other
action
down.
scene. That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think action's really hard to actually make entertaining. Like with other scenes with dialogue and things like that, that's what makes it entertaining, or over the top acting and all this other stuff. But when it's just like, oh, you need people attacking people or shooting people, it can become so strenuous and just boring watching the same shit again and again. That's why so many films fail. Even like good films are boring sometimes during their action scenes. But yeah, this is another example of like boring action scenes, but the rest of it, just all the Cyclone
The rest of
stuff
it's
is great.
bad, but it's entertaining.
Did you
bad.
also always think Cyclone, like from Battlestar Galactica? But then you're like, that's the wrong religion.
You mean Cylon?
Cylon. Oh, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Cylon.
What's
They're
Cyclone?
Cylons.
Yeah, I kept thinking Cylon. It's really annoying.
Okay.
But then I was
kept
like,
thinking psychologist.
but that's the wrong. That's Mormonism.
Psychologist or
That's
something?
Mormonism.
Okay, I have no idea.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
not Scientology. So yeah,
Alright.
that's Battlefield Earth. Travolta, I think it also like kind of sunk his career a fair bit.
Did it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he was still famed from like Pulp,
Pulp
Fiction,
Fiction.
and I think he wasn't doing like I think. Actually, I don't know. Did he put money into it? I think too.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure he put his own stuff into it. A lot of it. It's like a lot of it was his passion project. Like he got this
That's
out.
just sad because it is. I guess it is entertaining, and it's more entertaining than The Fanatic.
Oh yeah, we've done another film of his.
John Travolta. Yeah,
I like.
this was better than Fanatic.
Is he? He's not a Nick Cage level of good bad actor, is he? Like Nick Cage.
I mean, he is
pretty
in Face Off with Nick Cage.
true.
I don't think he goes as crazy as he should.
No,
Ah,
in this film he does.
Yeah.
He has the potential to be like a Nick Cage, where he goes over the top and it's really entertaining all the time, but he normally doesn't.
I think he tries to be too serious most of the time.
Yeah, it's just he's an odd role because he's also got some great roles. He's just weird, isn't he? Sometimes
Guess he's just weird.
he's
Yeah.
just weird. I
weird.
just don't understand him. Is there any parting words? I mean, you've said you'd tell people to go watch it.
Yep. No, that's it.
Yep, I would too. That's it.
Yeah.
Cool. That's Battlefield Earth. Maybe we'll do Dune next. Hey,
That's actually a good film, though.
really? Because some of our friends would debate that it's one of their most hated films. So
We'll see.
I don't know. Anyway, that's Battlefield Earth. Thanks everyone for watching. If you can, share this podcast around. That's the best way to help us. Thanks for listening to The End of the Reel. If you know anyone else who is a fan of good bad movies, share this podcast around to them. Sharing is the best way to help promote our podcast.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye bye.